Sponsored by Skillshare. Just when you think it's safe to hit pub on your iOS 13 breakdown, that Gui Rambo from 9 to 5 Mac goes and spills another full set of spoilers. This one is a little different though, a little nerdier, a little geekier, a little more for the developer side than the user side, though we can still suss out a lot of great user stuff from it. So hit that subscribe button and batarang that little bell gizmo so you don't miss any of the other upcoming breakdowns, and then let's get on with this analysis. I'm Rene Ritchie, and this is Vector. Siri Shortcuts lets you assign voice triggers to any simple action surfaced by an app, or any workflow you create by linking those actions. They can add a lot of functionality, but it's also very limited functionality. Siri Intents, on the other hand, well, those are the holy grail of voice control. Intents are deep, robust ways for apps to surface functionality for Siri, ways that don't require specific triggers, but can respond to a wide range of different sentence structures. For example, Skype Lori, make a Skype call to Lori, call Lori on Skype. All of those work with Intents. If shortcuts are like the Siri Day Pass, Intents are much closer to first-class Siri citizenship. Apple announced the first limited batch a few years ago, and a couple more have trickled out since, but nowhere nearly enough and nowhere nearly fast enough. According to Gui though, that's all about to change, with new intents coming to iOS 13 for event ticketing, message attachment, trains, planes, and some big ones, search and media playback. I'm not sure how either will manifest yet, but if Apple does media playback right, it'll be pretty much what all of us have been waiting years for, full-on Siri control for everything from Spotify to Netflix, Overcast to Audible. Basically every third-party video and audio app would suddenly be as integrated with Siri as Apple's own TV, music, and podcast apps. Yeah, seriously, this alone just quintupled my WWDC excitement. Apple doesn't really see augmented reality, AR, as an app or even a feature. If you listen to Tim Cook enough over the years, it's clear Apple sees AR as a core technology key to Apple's future. And that, one day, having an AR view will be just like having a display. That's why Apple's been so aggressive with iterating ARKit, their framework for AR. They've gone from relatively simple surfaces and ephemeral models to full-on multi-person persistent environments and Memoji-style face and expression tracking in a couple of years flat. Even working with Pixar on a new portable, standardized file format where directors can have different opinions on where virtual props go than the set designers who initially placed them in the scenes. It's all shades and shaders of goofy cool. According to Gui, Apple won't be slowing down with iOS 13 either, adding the ability to detect human poses. Also, a new Swift-based framework and app that'll let you create AR experiences visually, and support for controllers with touchpads and, wait for it, stereo AR headsets. Now no, that doesn't mean Apple has to announce its own AR glasses at WWDC. Just like with ARKit in general, Apple is using its existing devices in the hands of hundreds of millions of people, and features and apps like Animoji and Measure to slowly get developers and customers alike familiar with AR, so they can understand and iterate as much as possible at the bit level before having to spit out any atoms. Clever Apple. But it does feel like we must be getting close, right? Confession, I'm overly smitten with the idea of tactile interfaces, with Taptics. Graphical user interfaces have been a thing since Xerox PARC, the original Lisa and Mac, and Windows. Voice interfaces have grown with Siri, Alexa, and Google Assistant. We've had things like the Taptic Engine in iPhones and Nintendo's Joy-Cons for a while, and everything from the really abstract headshake feedback when you try to 3D touch an icon without any options, to the feeling of ice shaking in your hand while playing a game is just beyond cool. But the technology also feels like it's still very much in its infancy. According to Gui though, Apple is working on maturing them with a new iOS 13 framework that'll give developers even more control over the Taptic Engine in modern iPhones. I don't know what we'll see as a result of this. I don't even know what I want to see. Feel. But developers, especially and including game developers, have been pretty savvy about incorporating force feedback so far. So at this point, I just want to see, feel. Damn it. Right now, if you want to get a photo off your camera or SD card and into an app, you have to go through Apple's photo-based import feature. Even if you want to use it in Lightroom or whatever, you have to go through Photos. Likewise, if you want to scan a document, you have to go through Notes or an app that has its own built-in capture system. With iOS 13, Gui says Apple will be providing an API, application programming interface, so that any app that implements it will be able to pull photos and scan documents directly. No Apple app intermediation needed. If it works well, that should seriously speed up a lot of workflows and remove a lot of duplicate content across libraries. Hurrah! Apple is all in on AI these days, the way it was on Silicon a decade ago, and we've all seen the results of that push. Now, with John Gianandrea as head of his own ethically focused organization, the sky, instead of the Skynet, may only be the limit. How much of iOS 13 his team has had time to work on, I don't know, but Gui does mention a few new machine learning features coming our way. Core ML will be updatable on device, so apps will be able to learn and improve in real time. That'll help make sure the privacy benefits of not hoovering up all our data to the cloud are matched by greater dynamism and, hopefully, even better results. Vision is getting a built-in image classifier, and a new API will provide a new sound analyzer. That'll save developers having to train their own, and maybe even more and better integration into a wider range of apps and features. This one comes from Federico Viticci of Mac Stories fame, from his Connected podcast, and was echoed by Steve Troughton-Smith on Twitter. Basically, mouse support coming to iPad, but has an accessibility feature. Why is an accessibility feature, and if that will impact anyone wanting to use it more generically, is impossible to say. But even Steve Jobs relented and let arrow keys and a command line onto the Mac. So letting people fall back onto the mouse, onto trackpads and pointers almost a decade post iPad doesn't seem like a bad thing, especially since the keyboard made its official comeback a few years ago already. Basically, anything that lets us keep our eyes and hands in context and on task is a huge win for productivity. And for a double win, check out Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with over 20,000 classes in photography, video, business, technology, everything you need to make your life better. Thomas Frank of YouTube and College Info Geek, for example, offers the Productivity Masterclass. Learn to create a simple, customized productivity system that will transform your personal and professional life, allowing you to go after your dreams and achieve your goals. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to all the high-quality classes on the must-know topics so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. To sign up, visit the link in the description, and the first 500 of you get 2 months of unlimited access to over 20,000 classes for free. Act now and start saving today. Thanks Skillshare, and thanks to all of you for supporting the show. Gui had a few more spoilers tucked away in his report. NFC is getting broader read support, though it still doesn't sound like there'll be any write support. Link previews, iMessage style will be available as a framework for any app. And there's likely still a bunch of stuff that hasn't been spoiled yet. We'll only know for sure when Tim Cook hands off to Craig Federighi for the big announcement on June 3rd at WWDC 2019 in San Jose. And yeah, I'll absolutely be there live to bring you back all the action as it happens. All of it. So, hit like if you do, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and then hit up the comments below and let me know, not just about what you think about all the features I just went through, but anything and everything else you want to see in iOS 13 at WWDC. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next video.